Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. My name's Eva. Thanks for joining me here. This morning, I want to do a healing for a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety in the heart space, a lot of doubt, a lot of grief around abandonment, and just really, this separation wound that is echoing throughout time that's really kind of screaming from within us, screaming doubt, screaming limitations, screaming death, screaming downfall, screaming failure. Just there's a very wide gap between embodiment of love and trust and moving in co-creation. And I'm not saying this is real, because this is all an illusion, but in the awareness of where we might be or where you might be when you find yourself watching this video, there's a part of self that is really in doubt, and the doubt is a rejection of the self as the loving state, the happy state, the fulfilled state, the state where you walk through and you are met by opportunity, you are provisioned with what you need. There's a giant part of self, or many different parts of self, however you perceive that, to be really rejecting that idea, and that's stopping the flow of projection of enlightened beingness from you. And that is, what some people would say, like manifestation's not coming in. I think it's really important to understand that we're manifesting at every single moment. Our thoughts always create form. We are always creating the reality around us. But intentionally, in the way that we think of that as like getting what you want, or living the life of your dreams, holding that vision, and then embodying and walking in that vision and making choices as if that vision is already yours. It's not something that you need to earn or work really hard for even. It just is what you are. All of the things that you see in your visions are already a part of yourself. And so we want to work in that space, in that imagination space, and expand that awareness of that imagination space and that reality of where creation lies in the mind, and really reveal those deep beliefs that are screaming that your safety is dependent on made up ideas in the physical world. And the ego will scream that that is delusional. But we want to lean into the imagination, the vision, the truth that you are supported always because of what you are, which is one in God, one in source, one in creation. So just get yourself in a nice, comfortable spot. If you feel fear, if you feel anxiety, if you feel resistance, if you feel anger, if you feel desperation, rage against, bring it up, bring it with you here. Let it be taken from you. Trust that you don't have to do this all on your own. You can't do it on your own. On your own is a false idea. It's okay to let spirit do the work for you. The how of how things happen is not where we're meant to be focusing our attention. We're meant to be focusing our attention on the vision and the imagination space, because that's where creation takes place. That's where everything actually is taking place within mind. So let yourself just open a little bit to that possibility. You don't have to believe it completely for this to work. You just have to be open enough to let that flow begin to emerge from you, and to let the light of the truth dawn upon you from within yourself. The intention is peace, and peace for all living beings. Freedom for all living beings, and for all living beings to remember who they are in the one. Remember that includes yourself. It's not complete if you don't accept it for yourself. Free up the clinging. It can't move. The physical can't reconstruct unless you let go of the structure that it is now. You need to just focus your attention. If there's something you're really worried about, let this space be where you move your attention away from it. Hinianaturuin toyopitom nayashun sokayatoyum dai. Hinam nayon sonditiata oroatu mayon nushumukona. Sanito ari kianitium shito kani. Hitoyun sum tai shoyuto ai kium diatakarikaya sayashaya. Hinatara kunim nison chani taya sonjerindaraya tokinatinsi. Hiatumna tasnush o yaki taunoro kinandrakiatak arkitayatona. Trust that you do not need this anxiety. We let it go now. There is no need to be nervous. You are safe. You are healed. It's almost like demand your healed, demand to know your healed state. Claim the healed state as yours. No longer hold yourself from your healed state by whatever ideas you thought you had about healing, or what it means to be human, or what earth is. Allow yourself healed. Kanainiamna konishinitis, and whatever that means for you. Physical, emotional, mental. There's a big focus on the mental body of like looping thoughts of, the video we did yesterday of that choice point where you can start to let yourself spiral and it feels very automatic and it feels like it's something that you can't help. Coming into this space knowing that you can help that, it is always within your free will choice to see differently. There is another world, Kininiantoromis, that is not of this dream. Kayinsati toami kani tarakina yonchini. Let all that doubt, all of the fear that you will not be provisioned, all of the fear that you're going to be alone forever, all of the fear that you're going to be homeless in whatever way that means to you, community, isolation, not feeling secure in the place that you live, not feeling like you're going to be met in the field with what you need, not having enough food, not having enough resources. These are real. They're not real problems in the sight of spirit, but they are real problems to us in the timeline that we are in, and they are very, very felt by an incredible amount of people on this planet. And so understand, when you open to this work, when you open to collective currents, when you open to unity, that you're going to be able to read the field and extend into seeing the collective paradigm, the collective beliefs, and you move it through your vessel, because your vessel is the only way that you can transmute, and then you offer that to the field. Hinikanato amnayo shora isan sukana yeshameya sindis no sunchiritria. And because the structure of the false is crumbling, there's going to be a lot of really deeply held beliefs about security, all of these ideas that we kind of associate with being outwardly masculine. This masculine structure of fear, of tyranny, of control, of slavery, of debt. Let's bring that up. That this whole world is structured on debt. Naya rayitos, is that not reversal? Let that come up. Let it come up. Let the anger for it come up. Let the injustice, the rage of the world that we made. Kinitias natratos. And you might think, I don't agree to that. That's not the world I made. While you hold, you have to see where this structure is coming from. It's coming from the beliefs that you hold. So while you believe that that is a real structure, whether or not you think you agree with it, your belief in it as a real thing is what's holding it up in the physical. So see the illusion. It's going to bring up all of the emotional attachments that you have with it too. So it's not always going to feel fun, but you have to bring it up to let it go from you. If you feel like you need to cry, if you feel like you need to scream, if you feel like you need to move your body around in some kind of way, tapping is really helpful as well, or sort of moving the energy around in yourself, connecting on all of those levels. Do as you feel called. That somatic release is incredibly powerful. And if you feel like you're crying and you feel sad and that means you're stuck or going backwards, that's not true. You might have a particular propensity for compassion. And when we have that, it is the grief of the world that's very closely felt to us. But understand, in that walking through it in the closeness with the compassion in your heart, are you revealing it false? Are you bringing love to the fear? You're not doing anything wrong if you're crying while you're releasing, if you feel overwhelmed by what's coming from you. It is coming to be taken. Let spirit take it, but you've got to bring it out from the surface. Spirit can't go in where it's not welcome. And while you hold defenses of fear, love can't get through that because it's not allowed, because you have free will. So it's understanding that, bringing that through the body, through the mental plane, through the emotional plane, is going to feel. So don't let yourself judge yourself for feeling it, for letting the judgment of it, the identification of it, the naming of it, the defining of the problem, all of the different kinds of problems you think you have, is catching up in it. Like, you're getting yourself caught up in it. It's not allowing the movement. Like, if you really don't want to feel bad anymore, and you're willing to believe that it can be taken from you, that there's a possible state where you don't have to feel that way, then you got to really start to practice actually letting it go. And we do that moment to moment by the choice point in our mind of the thoughts that we will entertain about ourselves and about the world and about other people and about situations. Are we going to limit ourselves to X, Y, and Z, ABC, linear, I have to do this, that, and the other thing for this to appear? Or are we going to trust the field and know that it might feel very unsettling because the foundation is completely changing. Our base identity, where we see ourselves from and who we are, is changing. And there is that sort of liminal space while it settles into a new kind of form that can feel very much like that sort of hanged man energy, right? That it's maybe not the most comfortable thing to be hanging upside down, but boy howdy can you see differently, you know? And he is at peace in that image, right? In the classical image of that archetype. Practice the peace in the discomfort, because that's what it means to walk the path of alchemy. That's the mystic path, to walk through the center of illusion, even if you don't feel good all the time, knowing that you have left enough space open for spirit to walk with you, and that you're never not safe in it. Dayasumati anakinati sanitoani, torikinitia sonchorumi toyokonitas, hinataranti sonjakinatis. Call in the earthly mother. It will be helpful to, because we use symbolism and stories of the world to make sense of things, I really do think it will be helpful to reassociate mother in a planetary consciousness kind of way with the earth. Especially in contexts of unity and reconnecting to the land that our bodies come from. You know, we think, so many times people think of nature, and sometimes I've heard people describe nature spirits as like part of the earth, as if we are not. And like physical animals and stuff, that people think that that's somehow part of nature and we are not for some reason. We are. Our bodies come from the earth. And so the representation of the earth as mother, instead of this chaotic, horrifying presence that's out to get you and eat you and shake you off the planet, that's not what she wants. She wants us to remember where we came from. She wants us to remember how much she loves us, how deeply we would be provisioned if we turned ourselves back to her. We didn't ruin the world. She's not in danger. But you have to look at her, because we live in duality, you have to look at the enlightened aspect. I think it's really helpful to start to think of the solar mother I'm not saying darkness is evil, but if you want to know who the mother is, you need to start looking in light, because that opens the pathways into truly manifesting with the field. Because we live in the physical world, we live in physical bodies. That comes from our planet here in our bodies. So when we want to manifest with the field, the earth's not going anywhere. We're evolving as one because we are one planetary consciousness. She is changing also. Change with her. Don't look at it as a problem to be solved, that there are seismic, tectonic, geomagnetic, ionosphere changes happening. Recognize that that's changing in you, and that earthquakes, volcanoes, I think the storms are maybe something else, but the geomagnetic changes of it, how that's explosive energy, right? And if you sometimes feel like I'm going to explode, maybe you should let the idea of what you were crumble from you. Don't be afraid of how that looks in the physical, or if you think it needs to look a certain way to be spiritual or valid or holy. It's not about how it looks. It's about if you are willing to use it as a way to get back in touch with your true self. And you will know that you have if you are at peace. If you're not concerned about the past or the future, but you're here now, you know that even if it looks like I'm in danger, I'm going to be homeless, I'm going to spend too much money, I'm not going to have what I need, I'm not going to have a job, I'm not going to be resourced, I'm not going to have any friends, I'm not going to survive. That when you give yourself to spirit, when you give yourself to yourself, that everything could change in an instant. And that an opportunity could arise in a way that you weren't letting yourself see before. Let yourself see. Let yourself see. It's not about earning, being shown. It's not about earning or getting to a certain level such that now you can see. Let yourself see now. And let that undo. Let the letting, let the surrendering, let the allowing undo the physical structure. Let the reunion of that mother-father energy, that reunion of the divine masculine and feminine energy, and what those things stand for in our universe, let that reunion process heal the structure. Forget about what you think you have to do. You will be shown the choices. You will be led and guided by your peace, but you can't do that if you don't know what peace feels like. So first you have to practice connecting back into the peace, and don't put limitations on how long it will take for your problems to be solved. Recognize that the problems are already solved because you were wrong about what the problem was. The problem is that you don't believe that you are supported and loved and eternally so. You don't believe that you are an eternal being of God. You don't believe that you're worthy of love. You don't believe in this world, we believe in death, so we believe in ending. We believe in annihilation. We believe in non-existence. And that is not in any way true to what life is. So while we run around under that thought system of death, that we could fix our problems from within that structure, they will never be solved. So take your problem to where it is not a problem. And that's true. And you will be shown. You will be answered. But you have to let yourself be answered. It's not going to beat down your door if you're holding a defense. If you've barred the door, how could it get in? Right? So let that open. It's a practice, but you're not alone in doing it. You will walk through fear, but you're not alone in doing it. Hinanrayo to koraya sunchokoni. Kinana monoru maya nishini kanasni tatesne atiat. I think we're going to end it here. I hope you guys find this helpful, even if there is a tiny little nugget that you remember and you use, and it helps you open to yourself, open to peace. Love is real. Love is what you are. Love is creation. And you are always worthy of it. It's not a matter of worthiness. It's a matter of fact. And the more that you open to that fact, the more the reality of that fact will grow within you. So we'll say amen here. If you feel called to go deeper into the work, there are many ways that we can work together. We have one-on-one sessions, recorded sessions, themed trance meditations, written guidance, lots of things going on. Lots of links below for you to check out if you feel so called. You can become a member of the channel if you feel called to the work and it's helpful to you. I really appreciate it. It really, really helps out so much in doing this work on earth. And I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a lovely day. God bless you. Amen.